Hello, and welcome back, or welcome to, if this is your first time here, the Female Figure Aficionado channel. I am the Female Figure Aficionado, not because I'm female and a figure aficionado, but rather because I'm an aficionado of female figures. Make of that what you will. And the somewhat severe appearing figure that you see before you is the 1995 Spiral from Toy Biz. Let me tell you a little bit of a story. I was at a toy collectors convention, for want of a better word, in New Jersey a couple of months ago. My One of my good friends had a table there, and I had a great time. And I had made several purchases there and had several great finds there. It was there, actually, I purchased the the Baron Harkonnen. Oh no, Spiral, that I've made a lot of use of in many of my videos. I actually purchased this from a friend of my friend there, and I was very happy. Not only because I regret not having purchased all the Dune toys when I had the opportunity as a child, but especially because not only is this the Baron Harkonnen, but it's Albert Finney. But that's a conversation for another time and a conversation for perchance another channel, because we've dedicated this channel to the lovely ladies, as it were. But though there were several finds at that show, without a doubt, and there were several finds. I mean, to top the Baron Harkonnen, and I also found a Ghost in the Shell figure. I mean, I made some great finds at that convention. But without a doubt, if I were to tell you that, without a doubt, my favorite find of that whole day was Spiral. Now, I have two other Spiral figures, and I believe that is, to the best of my knowledge and my research is probably not extant. I have two other Spiral figures, and I think that may be what's available. But this is my favorite. And it was definitely my favorite find of the show. I purchased her in box, though I immediately took her out of the box, though some might find that sacrilegious. I had no problem because I, I, I'm an out of the box efficient guy. That's just my shtick. And let's get right to it. I It wasn't just the price point was fantastic. The individual who sold her to me, I remember I she was just in on the card, but in a bin with several other carded figures, and sh she had the price sticker on her. I think, it was discounted at KB Toy Store several times. She didn't move. She wasn't, I think, a hot item. And the dude sold her to me at stickered price. If I remember correctly, it was like somewhere between, it was either like $7.95 or $8.95. He looked at it, says, "What's that, Spiral?" He looked at it, says, "What does it say on the box?" I told him. He said, "Yeah, fine, that's it." And that's what I got her for. Just you know, less than $10 or something. And like much of the Toy Biz figures from that era, all the ones that I've seen, the ladies I'm speaking about, one would not say that they're lookers. They don't seem to have thought much about concentrating on the aesthetics of their facial appearance when designing these figures. But that may be somewhat of the appeal. There are many things that can make a woman attractive, and distinctness can be one of them. There are some who are only attracted to Hollywood starlet or supermodels. I've never been one of those guys. There's an actress, I believe her name is Lily Tyler Taylor. She starred in such movies as Dogfight with River Phoenix. She was the titular star in I Shot Andy Warhol, where she played Valerie Solanas. She's always been one of my. She was in some sort of, like, I can't remember the name of the movie. It was like, some sort of ghost story movie with Liam Neeson and I believe Catherine Zeta-Jones. She was always one of my. I always thought she was, the bee's knees, as they say, because she had a face that you could, remember, a face that told a story. Um, it is the faults in this figure that attract. I don't know. Maybe is what attracted her to me, and make her definitely made her my favorite find of that day, and since that day have definitely put her as one of the favorite figures in my collection, without a doubt. I have no problem identifying this figure as one of my favorite figures in my collection, though she is amongst the lowest quality figures in my collection. She is the one of the cheapest figures in my collection, and she is without a doubt amongst figures in my collection that are defined by their aesthetic attractiveness, from her face to this awkward design of the armature that is strictly the result of them obviously trying to design this play feature that she has, this play gimmick of, look, she moves, I'm slashing at you, I'm getting you, but not even, because it's like it make the arms move in different directions, but this it's it just is, it's a play feature for a toy for kids, and it affects the utility. You can move the arms, but every time you move the arms, because it's got that play feature, it makes it feel like every click might be the last before, if you're doing something to the figure that might be detrimental. You don't know, but not that I've any problem doing that. Um, the the swords are, this kind of cheap rubbery plastic that came out of the box, kind of bendy. Only the top two arms have this articulation in the joints. The metal uh, pegs are clearly visible, that I have no problem with. Some people love figures where the joints are invisible or the steps are made to hide. I have no problem with the visibility of the joints. In fact, in the Toy Biz line, I actually find that the visibility of these metal pegs to actually be almost like a feature, not a bug. my apology for my hands causing things to go out of focus. We pride ourselves on unprofessionalism. I feel as though I want my channel to be distinguished by lack of professionalism, to set ourselves apart by in a field where the objective should be to present these things in high definition, to present things in to present the trueness of to present a different angle on figure appreciation, to give a humanness to get into the story. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it, maybe I'm not. The articulation is limited, but the articulation that is there, and I love. She's got peg holes on her feet. If you should desire to make use of them, I'm a big fan of the zen of pegless posing, though I will not torture you in making you sit through me trying to get her to pose in various ways. Obviously, with a figure like this, there are balance issues caused by just the very nature of this abstract armature she has and the limit there. Her physiology and her pose and her aesthetics are affected by the incorporation of that play feature. They made this design choice of creating these barrel like extensions for the arms that throw off her aesthetics in some way, but in some way make the aesthetics. She has this blemish here that I do not know if it's the result of her molding at the factory, or she has taken a tumble or two in the time that I've had her off of the the tops of desks, you know what I mean, and cabinetry. That may be the result of that, but it probably is the result of molding. Um, Her aesthetics otherwise, the prominence of her breastises are not overwrought, though perchance unrealistic in their symmetry. But I like her. Her neck is the standard kind of articulation. She's got like the standard 5 points of articulation, though she's got these extra arms that are not granted this sort of articulation that one sees, you know, in the articulation that one sees. Maybe not the standard 5 points of articulation, because the articulation is kind of moved out and the play feature kind of moves things out. But in the legs, you have this. Well, no, actually, it's not the 5 points of articulation, because she's got these knees, which are great, because then she could do the old subservience to one's master. Yeah, I have no problem, folks. Judge me as you will. Yeah, there's all sorts of things you could do, and we're not even getting the pegs involved, but she could sit, find herself a throne, and I just think she's great. If we turn her around, we've taken a look at the front end. Criticize me for the objectification of the female figure form as you will. I make YouTube content. When we make content, we put ourselves out there. Everyone has an inner life. Everyone has interests. When we make the move to share our interests, we put ourselves on display, and people can mock, make fun, or judge as they will. Will one stay in the proverbial closet, or will one still be free and express? I choose to express. I'm an ass man by nature, so her fantastic Tatas notwithstanding, I think her rear is fantastic and is great. I like that about her. And her face, though she is not what one would call a traditional beauty, I think she's got character. I like her. I'm going to keep her. Since the day I got her, she has been, and she remains, one of my favorite figures in my collection. She was the find of that day, not because she was obtained at a modest price, but it was only sweetened by the fact that she came at a modest price. I may not have articulated successfully all the things and all the reasons why she appeals to me. Perchance, it is the nature of attraction. It is the nature of like. It is the nature of aesthetics that one can't articulate exactly why one likes what they like or why what appeals. And with that, I will bid you fond adieu until the next time we check in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you, in fact, enjoyed this video and would like to see more content of a similar nature. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Keep on keeping on. Don't let people get you down. Don't let anything get you down. Okay? Keep on rocking and rolling. You got things in your collection that you're thinking about getting out of the box, get it out of the box. Okay? Don't wait for prices to go up or go down. Forget that's a enjoy. Okay? That's the real bottom line. Until next time. Talk to you soon.